Switch, the wonderful switch. Which switch will dad pitch to pick up and get hitched? We check out the games, the system, and more, and if the new dads purchase, they'll certainly be poor.
The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 14-year-old and an almost 12-year-old.
Each week, we try to show that just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.
and it certainly will not be if you get all of the power in your hands with the latest and greatest Switch 2 announcement. Jeff, what was Switch 2 Day like in your household?
Well, Switch 2 Day, I watched it myself because it was during like not only work hours but school hours. So I don't know if that was on purpose, but I got to watch it kind of like absorb, which was great. But then when the kids got home, my 11, almost 12-year-old wanted to watch it, so I got to watch it again. And I'm like, okay, we can fast forward through these parts. And then, yeah, these are the games that you want to see. So they were excited. I was excited. And it was a lot that Nintendo showed. So I don't know what you thought, but it seemed intense.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like it's a great upgrade. Like it seems like the hardware seems cool. Like it seems like just a nicer, refined hardware. A little bit less plasticky, I suppose, than the original ones. Like it seems like it's going to be a bit more of a beating. It's a larger screen. Yeah, they took some of the best of from the OLED around the kickstand, right? I don't know, I'm kind of getting into specifics, but it just struck me that the hardware itself seemed like this is a nice refinement and a nice improvement. And then the games come around, and there were certainly some surprises. Like I would not have put it on my bingo card whatsoever. So that all started to come together as far as like this might not be a bad pickup. Like this looks pretty great. And then the price hit.
For us Canadians, you mean? Yeah.
That was a real, that's what hurt. Is because when they first showed the price, for some reason I thought it was localized.
Oh.
So I thought it was $4.99 Canadian.
Right. Okay.
And at that's a no-brainer, I think. All right. Well, not necessarily.
That's reasonable. Yeah. I agree.
Compelling. That's a very compelling price for what this thing was. Canadian, right? $4.99. But then you discover it's American. It's like, oh no, that's a bit on the pricey side. And then the games, right?
Yeah. And just for comparison, because I'm a Steam Deck person, and I knew this would be like, are they going to go above that? Or are they going to stick with it? And it seems like it's kind of on par. And I only say that because you see Elden Ring and Cyberpunk, which they can run on this system. There looks like there's some, scaling back of some things. And that's what you can do on the Steam Deck. So you can go run out and get a Steam Deck Canadian $4.99, right? With expandable everything. So I thought $4.99 Canadian was kind of where the Switch would position itself, right? Like, yeah, it's newer, but we are Nintendo, so we realize... families, we're gonna kind of like make it affordable. But $6.29 is what we're talking about without a game. So
yeah, I don't know. We're jumping around a little bit. So let's discuss the announcement itself. So it came out. It was an hour long. Like it was a heck of a demonstration. So did you watch it like live, or did you just try to like fast forward it through like at a later time?
No, I watched it live, which was
okay.
I knew the time commitment, but I was in there. I did watch it live. There was, they would stick on a game for, obviously Mario Kart World, they would stick on for a long time, but they showed a lot. So it was a lot for Nintendo to show, which is good for a new system, I think, right? You'd want some big bombastic presentation. So
so let me do this. So I've pulled up like just a quick list of all like the key features of it, and then like the launch titles. So maybe a good place just to set the tone. So Switch 2 been announced. So it's a 7.9-inch LCD touchscreen, 1080p resolution, HDR support. Can get up to 120 frames per second.
Which was a big surprise to me. Like, that's, wow, okay. And they showed, sorry to skip ahead, but Metroid Prime running.
Yeah.
Like, whoa!
Yep. And it can get up to, when it's docked, it can go up to 4K resolution, but that's at 60 frames a second. So this is no slouch. Like this is a modern console. Truly is.
Yeah.
Right? Which is it's almost interesting to see them hit that. It's not like they boasted specs around like, and this is the latest NVIDIA core, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it seemed like they were wise to like hit some of those points around, hey, it's, you know, you can play like 4K and it's like 120 hertz. Like, so it seems like they were modernizing it. But let me blast through this. So the Joy-Con 2 controllers, updated controllers attached magnetically, include larger buttons for improved ergonomics. There's a new C button, which facilitates a game chat feature, enabling voice and video communication during gameplay. Game chat and game share. Game chat allows real-time voice and video, exactly what we said. So imagine basically kind of like Twitch streamers. You can have like up to 4 little views of what your friends or family are playing along with videos if they have the attached thing. Game share is that if you have a Switch 2, it's going to be able to beam out a game. No extra purchases, no extra downloads, nothing. It just beams out a game to up to, I think, 3 other consoles in your household. So one game up to like 4 consoles at the same time. That's really kind of cool, family friendly. Performance and storage, equipped with a custom... Okay, well, they did talk a little bit about specs, or at least it came out here. I don't know. Sorry, I could ask you. I didn't ask it. Watch it live. Did they... besides memory, did they boast about the like graphic cards or like
not the
RAM?
GPU or anything? No, it was just like, hey, you need different storage cards because they have to be express.
Okay, so what it does have, and this is interesting. I did pull up a summary, so I'm happy to be fact checked, but it's probably accurate. So it's got an NVIDIA Tegra T239 processor. So it's performance comparable to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because I just said it's modern, but at the same time, like I will say, like if you're looking at some PS4 games, it's like, oh, look at these garbage graphics. It's like, no, those are fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are modern consoles. Like I don't know you're getting a lot of bang of the buck for going any further than that.
No,
right?
I think that's a good sweet spot. Again, if they're gonna pump anything more into that, is it even portable at that point? Like, I don't know.
And in addition, so it does have backwards compatibility. So all of your current physical Switch games will work on the new one.
Thank you. Yes, that was a big curiosity.
Yeah. Love that. Absolutely love to see it. So that covers, like, does anything of that stand out to you? Like, this is just like bread and butter. We're just covering the basics of it. Does anything stand out to you from like the hardware part of the launch?
I'm just surprised that they went as big as they did. Like that 8-inch screen is enormous. It's bigger, I think, than the Steam Deck, which allows for the bigger Joy-Cons, which that with old dad hands. The other one's like you could,
with my arthritis settling in,
right? Like you could work them, but like it's not ideal. And I'd usually get the separate controller or like even the attachments, so that might help some of that pain. No, it's good that they went larger in that, and even the dock has its own fan and stuff, so like they're properly thinking ahead with cooling and stuff. So that was when I heard PS4, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be a jet engine. Like
it just has the same beep when it starts up too, just to completely alert all the household. Beep. What was that?
No. Nothing. If Nintendo is listening to us, because we know that they do, no beep on the startup, please.
So from there, we get into the launch titles. So at launch, it's going to debut with Mario Kart World. Well, there's going to be a bunch of games, but the most notable that's kind of like being picked up is Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders. That's fascinating. We got to talk about that one. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
That was, it looked gorgeous.
And then Elden Ring Tarnished Edition.
Yep.
That is buck wild. I can't believe this.
Right on cue for you, right? Like you're gonna pick it up again, go through.
Okay, I'm not kidding you. That was part of the calculus. It's like, it'd be great. It'd be great. Is like if this was the portable like tarnished game. This is how I play Souls games now. Is on this like really nice Switch that I can just port around and have a good time.
Yeah.
Because if it has those type of games, like all the better, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a blast. So of those, again, like I want to talk about a bunch. And there's a few more that I was surprised to see otherwise. But Kirby Air Riders, like, what the hell is that? That's a second kart game. Like, what? Isn't Kirby in Mario Kart? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, now that's a good question because I don't think I saw Kirby in the montage. There was a lot of characters, but I don't think Kirby was in there. But yeah, I don't know why launching another racing game like right away is a good idea. My kid loves Kirby. Like, would absolutely buy this. But if it's up against Mario, and again, they don't really like racing games, but they would buy it for the character. They would go with Mario Kart first, right? Like that would just be the priority. So I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking there. That was kind of an odd one out. Like, was it just ready to go? And they're like, well, ship it. Let's go. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It was so bizarre to see that. But anyway, that's such a minor like sub note to the entire thing.
Yeah.
I think what was your, of all the games like listed and mentioned, give me like the most surprising, and then give me the one you'd actually be like the most excited about.
Okay, the most surprising that I think everybody was surprised as, and like what is going on, is basically the spiritual successor to Bloodborne. That is exclusive to Switch, right? It's called
wild.
Dusk Blood, and it was at the end of the show or near the end. And FromSoft, it's exclusive to Nintendo, and it looks like Bloodborne 2.
Yeah,
But not, right? Because they can't use that because it's, with PlayStation. As more details have kind of come out, it's more multiplayer again, which is like, I was hoping for a single player with a multiplayer aspect, but that was surprising. Did not think FromSoft would give them an exclusive at any time. So
they must have just like rolled back the dump truck full of Mario coins and just like dumped it all over there, because that is crazy. And especially the 2-for-1 of it is, so firstly, Dark Souls. That as far as the game goes, that is about the classically most anti-Nintendo game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It is dense. It is not intuitive.
Can't
it's
pause
not
it.
easy. It is super like, it's like gory and bloody and dark and like sinister.
Yeah.
And like you compare that to like the phenomenal game library that Nintendo manages and keeps. It's like, this is so far outside of your comfort zone. Okay,
Yeah.
so wild enough. Like that is buck wild crazy. But that was like the smaller of the two announcements from FromSoft, because it's just like, hey, this old game we have that everybody loves is coming to Switch. Like, cool,
Yeah.
kind of neat.
Yeah.
But also a brand new one. Like basically a spiritual successor that is only Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like, man, would you...
Like how? I'm like, okay.
it feels genius. I'll put it this way, because I think there would be guys like ourselves who were maybe a bit on the fence, would be on the fence with purchasing a Switch 2, and then something like this would come along. I don't know that we're that hardcore with Elden Ring,
No.
but there'd be people who are a little further than us who they play it all the time, and I think they would buy a Switch 2. They would be considering a Switch 2 anyways, right? It's like, it feels pretty good, I'm not sure. Oh, there's a exclusive Elden Ring? Yeah, like now I'm just going to buy this console. Honestly, I think it is a sleeper console mover.
Yeah, for sure. Again, like having that exclusive to a FromSoft game is a big deal, especially with how well Elden Ring did and got to a lot of audiences that weren't necessarily in the Souls games. I think even to you, like I don't think you played much Souls games before Elden Ring, so people are gonna look at it and be like, okay, well, that's a game for dad, and here's some game for kids, and that makes a purchase.
Yeah, because the kids will be asking, hey, I want the new Kirby game.
Right.
And the new Mario Kart, this looks great. Can you please buy it? And dad's like, cool, I want the new Elden Ring. So all of a sudden, it becomes a very easy decision.
Yeah, but that was the biggest surprise for me. So I don't know if yours was the same or something different, but that was wow. Okay. Nintendo is serious.
Yeah, I cannot. It was really hard to fathom like that. Like they'd managed to land that, and just awesome. Like how exciting! Like that is really cool. Like the Street Fighter 6 is coming.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that news. So again, from my perspective, again, it was like, how cool would it be to have a portable Elden Ring and Dusk Blood and Street Fighter 6, like just in your hands, like all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, hot damn.
There you go. See, we're
Okay.
selling ourselves to this console again. We're making it happen.
Yeah. So that was the most like it was. I'm trying to think. Like we covered what was most surprising. Was there another one that was like the most exciting for you?
I will say Mario Kart World. They put a lot of work into that. I didn't know what they could do with Mario Kart to make it the same but different, right? Because
Right.
they had so much DLC with Mario Kart 8 that I'm like, well, what else can you do? And then to have I don't know if you remember Burnout Paradise,
Oh yeah.
where it was
Great
right,
game.
like huge open world and you can get into a race at any time. That's what this is, right? Like so you can literally
Oh.
have the old school Mario Kart 8 circuits, or you can literally go from one end of the map all the way to the other through races, and you're driving on to the next course and it starts. Or you can even do free roam and go around anywhere you want and just like take pictures with friends, like just a fun open world. I'm like, wow, okay, you did a really good job.
That's really fun because the physics, it's so unique, the driving physics of a Mario Kart game, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to like a Forza and then the other like game you're talking about, they have like same wheelhouse of driving games, right? And then there's a Mario Kart game because it's like this cartoonish like battler, right? With the carts. So the thought that you can take that thing and just zip around the world, and and classically with Nintendo, like the amount of little Easter eggs are gonna hide, like the little side quests, like the
Oh,
thought
for
that you could
sure.
be able to zip your car around, and just have like a blast in the world, like that sounds like a riot.
Yeah, and again, like you don't have to worry like too much about like where you're going. So like as in the footage we're seeing is you go into a lake, it forms into a boat, or you go off a jump and all of a sudden you're a little airplane, right? So like go nuts. And I think that's great for kids. It excited me as just a Mario Kart, I'm not going to say pro, but I was really good at Mario Kart.
I like how you walked back as like,
Yeah, I'm not. I just remember the dad's night in with Nintendo. I'm like, I gave the run on some of those, but other ones I failed horribly. So I don't know. Anyway, it was exciting to see for sure.
no, that's like absolutely love it. Like again, it's just what I suppose what bodes well, I think, for the system is Nintendo has continually just pushed the envelope with some of these, because I do think about Super Mario Wonder,
Yeah,
right, which we both reviewed, and it had no business being as innovative and interesting as it was because it's a Mario platformer, like just great. You're writing checks, it's fine. It was so interesting. There's so much new, fantastical stuff and so much effort put into it, even with the animations. It's like, you guys are crazy. I can't believe how much work you're putting into it.
yeah,
And here we are again with like Mario Kart. It's like they could have just released, and here's Yoshi's other Yoshi Island. Yay. And you'd be finished, right?
yeah.
Like just write the checks. And instead they just go all out. Like they really are trying to push it and stay ahead of it to make something unique.
Yeah, and it'll get people to buy it because, like, I think that was the other problem was like, oh, you have a lot of content with the Mario Kart 8. If you just ported that game, people would probably be fine with it. And they're like, you know what? Let's just turn this on its head a little bit and make a whole world. Oh, okay, like, sure. So I'm interested in that one. I see a lot of customization with it. My kid was going off the wall with like, there's a dolphin driving a car, like just random things. There's the cow from the meadow course that is now a driver. So like just silly things that my kid, even though they're 12, just has that Nintendo magic in them and loves that kind of, collecting in it. So they're all about that. And there's a lot of, there looks like a lot going on in there to collect. So,
Jeez, it just feels like you'd be able to take off across a field in this and just
yeah,
go around for hours. It looks like an absolute blast.
yeah. So maybe that's a Gaming Dad win coming up. We'll see.
There we go. Yeah, so from there we have there's a new Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Yes.
Those games always look like fantastic. Third-party titles, Cyberpunk's coming over, as you mentioned. Cyberpunk 2077. Elden Ring we talked about, Final Fantasy, Hogwarts, Street Fighter 6, which again, that really felt like... like, it makes... Like, man, I don't know if that's the... Yeah, it's kind of a triumphant return, because if you think about Super Nintendo having Street Fighter 2... Right, and so I think it's been quite a while since there's been a Street Fighter game on a Nintendo console, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
What spiked my interest is I did see Fortnite on there.
Yes,
like, of course it was going to be there, but just given the new adoration of Fortnite in this household, it's like, all right, we got a new Fortnite console, like we're good to go. It's all happening.
That's right.
Because I will say, like I watched, the youngest does play Fortnite via the Switch. And it is holding on with its like bare, like just down to the fingernails. Like it is so struggling against that game.
Yeah, you probably get a lot of like skill in because you have to be so good at it to account for all like the jittery.
God, so I'm trying to see. Oh, sorry, and I think beyond that, the other thing that I was just looking at the rest of the list of announced ones. I mean, there's like a Hitman game. There's a Tetris Puyo Puyo. Bunch of interesting ones. I think probably the more interesting one beyond that would be the introduction of the GameCube backwards compatibility.
Yeah, finally. Like that's great.
Like, it feels like a no-brainer. It's like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this before?
Yeah. And what I was wondering when I saw it, though, I'm assuming it comes to Switch Original as well, right? Because it's an online
Interesting.
thing? Or is it not?
Was that? I don't have the details. What I'm curious about, though, is like when you play like an SNES game on the current service, do you not download that game onto the system?
So I thought you did, but they're so small, right? Like, so
Yeah.
Super Nintendo and N64, maybe they... Yeah, so that's a good point. Because they probably do download, and then you just run it off there. So if that is the case, they just need the Switch 2's power to brute force the emulation in some of these things.
Like I would think the Switch could do it, but it would feel like a good way to bolster the buying reasons for Switch 2.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm sure like the original Switch would probably suffer a little bit, like from having to do it. We're on screen. We're currently watching Soul Calibur, and I remember this age of it.
Brings you back.
Well, it's just where every single console had their own special character.
Yes, yeah.
And what were the other two? So it was like Link for
Who's Link
GameCube.
for GameCube. I had it in my head because I played the PlayStation one. I didn't have a GameCube. I'm blanking on that. Because I'm trying to think who the mascot was at that time. And
I don't think there was any mascots. I think was Darth Vader one of them?
Oh,
Soul Calibur. Hold on, we're
Maybe.
doing Google. Soul Calibur console exclusive characters. Here we go. Which one do you want to see? Oh yeah, the guy from Tekken.
Oh, Hahachi. Yes.
Okay, so what we had from console exclusives, I'm just like looking at it now. Jeez,
Spawn.
Yeah, so we have Link. We have what's his name? Hahachi.
Hahachi. Yeah.
Yeah, so for Soul Calibur for the console exclusive characters. Link, Hibachi. Sorry, what is it?
Hahachi. Not like
Hibachi?
Hibachi, but Hahachi. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Spawn.
Spawn.
I don't know, blue hair anime, red hair anime.
Xenosaga, maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Yoda.
Right. As you would.
Darth Vader.
Okay.
Or Star Destroyer,
Right.
which is the one-off Star Wars game character. Kratos,
Kratos, yeah.
Kratos,
Old school Kratos, yeah.
an Assassin's Creed guy,
Right.
and then two others I don't recognize. anything.
Jin is like the Tekken again.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure who the last one is. It looks like Street Fighter, doesn't it? Akuma?
Well,
Is that
isn't that what the person turns into once they get the
Oh yeah,
Soul
the
Stone?
devil,
Soul
devil.
Calibur?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Yeah.
There we go.
So you probably don't get those. You probably just get the link then, I guess. But
Yeah.
interesting though. That was a fun surprise. Again, we've always been asking for, why don't you put all your games on there? I would like to buy them, please.
Yeah. May I give you some of the money now? Especially with like Wind Waker. So hold on. So some things are gonna first bring Super Mario Sunshine. That's fantastic. I never got to play that one because real talk, GameCube was not their most popular system.
No.
So I think much like us and much like other gaming dads is that there's a whole series of great GameCube games that we kind of skipped over.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if this would be a way to bring those in, like that sounds awesome. So Super Mario Sunshine, never got to play it. Fire Emblem, Pokemon XD or XB, can't see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Super Mario Strikers.
That one's a really good one.
That's probably fun. Chibi Robo.
Really good one. Don't skip that one.
We had Luigi's Mansion. And there's like one other is kind of sneaking in.
Pokemon Coliseum.
Pokemon Coliseum.
Nice.
And same day. So the second you get Switch 2, if you have the online pass, you get all of those games. Pretty sweet.
Which, that is pretty sweet. And I know that's part of the online service, right? So part of that too that I think they mentioned was that you get the free upgrades to the other games, Zelda and stuff.
That is pretty nice. Now, your kids, do they play Switch games with their friends, like remotely? They're like, hey, let's hop on for a quick Mario Kart race.
Right. So they do, but not in the way Nintendo wants you to.
Not as Nintendo intended.
No, like, again, my 11, almost 12-year-old is like, they'll start a Google Meet on their phone and they'll just work it that way over voice chat.
But all for the Switch.
Yeah, like they'll like, oh, you want to hop on and play something, and either they're playing the same game or they're not. They're not like in the same world together. They're just playing a game together.
Okay though. So Nintendo built this feature for you. For him, for your kid.
Yeah.
Because like this is it. Because the entire purpose of it was you can all play different games, but you can still be like in a lobby chatting and you can see each other's screens and kind of like hop around it.
Like a Discord kind of thing? Or Google
yeah,
Meet?
because so my general take has been like I've never known a very available series of online friends to play games with. Like generally, like gaming's been a bit more solo.
Yeah.
Now for my kids so far, they've really, with Fortnite at least, like they're always like picking up with their cousins. So currently, and then like starting to get some friends like from school. So that's becoming very social for them. But for the Switch, I wasn't really sure like what the uptick was going to be for. Hey, let's all hop online with our Switches and like see each other's game and be able to like hop around.
Yeah.
But what you just said gives me hope because that means like it's like no, that's a real thing. Like this, theoretically, if your kid and all their friends got Switch 2s, like it sounds like they would actually use this feature.
Yeah, I think they would, with the caveat that you do need a subscription at one point. I think they give it free on the launch for this feature, but then it goes into their online service next year. So
I see.
You do have to subscribe to it later, and now like Nintendo Online is like not expensive, to be honest, compared to anybody else. But just something to think about when you're out there looking for this feature. But yeah, my kids would definitely use it in the way that I guess Nintendo does want you to, just to like cruise around, whatever. And if somebody else has the same Switch too, then you can just have fun.
I mean, like thinking of Fortnite. So it is not unusual for my two and my brother's two kids to hop onto Fortnite and be playing around. I mean, this is further ridiculous because both houses would need two Switch 2 consoles.
Now you're selling yourself two.
But let's just be silly for a second.
Okay.
The thought, like, so yes, they could try to set up, like we've tried to set up like Google Meets, like we've set up like Skype calls or FaceTime, like we've done the non-console versions of it. But if like in that theoretical world where they all have it, the thought that like they could all just hop into this chat and be seeing each other's screens and like participate like that would be awesome. Like that is super cool the way they've implemented it.
And for the most part, barrier free, right? You just hit the button and you can just pick a friend, and there you go. Versus fiddling over whatever, like phones or trying to call them
Discord or,
differently.
like...
Yeah, trying to get everybody in one place. So
Okay, so that one. Otherwise, they're showing all this stuff with the camera. Like that again, that's an extra accessory. It's another like $50.
I'm not so sure on that, but yeah.
And then the thing is too, like the thing they didn't quite address it, which I was like kind of chuckling at, is that for the one player, it's the woman and she's sitting on a couch holding it
Yes.
without the camera, but then her face is showing up on the game, and it's like, wait, that's not how that. You need to have the USB camera, which then has a stand. So
Right.
that's not particularly portable. You're gonna have like your stand sitting somewhere.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there is not a camera in it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, seems
I guess
like a bit
that's
of a
just
miss.
added costs and everything, but would have been neat.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of a miss, especially given game chat. Like I do wonder if like the Switch 2,
Switch to 2, yeah.
the OLED version that'll inevitably come out in about a
Yes.
year and a half, if it might have like a built-in camera, because yeah, like the game chat is such a cool feature. The thought that you have to tether an external camera seems a bit odd. I'm also going to be curious to see if like you can just use another USB camera that you have. So I use a Logitech Brio. Like that's what this thing is. It's a fantastic camera, 4K. Like can I just plug this thing into the Switch? Like that'd be really nice if I didn't have to buy an extra accessory. Because it also just prompts people to. It's a lower barrier to entry in that you don't have to purchase
Yeah.
a whole nother piece of hardware.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. See
Yeah.
what that hardware is going to be like. It's going to be supported or not, or maybe like even their game chat app that you get. Maybe you just do use your phone. I don't know how they're going to work this, but more questions. I think there's options there.
Yeah. We'll have to see where they land, but I don't. It sounds great. That the price would be a bit hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get the system, you get like the 3 to 5 games you want. Like this is $1,000 Canadian investment.
Yeah, look at
into
you
a-
saying 3 to 5 games.
Well, you're gonna just buy it and like, well, I'm gonna hold this for the first year until I financially recover.
And that's it. Yeah, so if you got the Mario Kart bundle, you're looking at almost 800.
Yeah, and then you pick up like the new, was it Duskborn?
Yeah, the Dusk Bloods, and
Dusk Blood.
then probably Metroid Prime 4, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's probably a couple others in there. Maybe the upgrades to some games.
So yeah, we were staring down the barrel at like $1,000 purchase, and it'd
It
be great.
doesn't-
It would be
yeah.
nice, but like,
Yeah. Again, this is where I thought, so not to like totally get into it, but like if they called this the Pro version, right? They would lose out on all the obviously people that want a sequel, like the next generation of stuff. And the Pro model would be like, okay, well that's a Pro price. That makes sense. You can get all these upgrades. And it's more in line with like, and it's cheaper than like, let's say the highest end PS5 Pro, right? Like, so like you're positioning yourself there, but I know they wanted to go obviously sequel. This is a new technology, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah,
they're selling it as such.
so they do remember though, like the Switch came out, but then the Switch Lite, I think, was the next console.
That is right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would be curious if they get rid of the detachable controllers with the magnets, which does seem like, that's kind of buck wild. Don't have a dock. The dock seems like kind of expensive, right? Like it's got a fan, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I think you could probably keep this in, like maybe even reduce the size, like just kind of refactor. I don't know, like we're just spitballing here, but I could half imagine that perhaps the light version of the Switch 2 will be the easier entry point.
Yeah.
As opposed to this kind of like the full-blown version here.
Well, I was going to say, as you were talking, I'm like, well, they have foldable LCD screens now. You can make a clamshell thing, and then Trevor would immediately buy it.
Oh, my love. Can you imagine? Oh, that'd be so great. Oh, I'd be in heaven.
You'd be like, done. All right, we're getting 2. I'll take 2.
Introducing the Game Boy SP Switch 2.
There you go. There you go. Throw
They
it out
shrink
there.
it down, like it flips up, like, and then, yeah, so it's not even detachable. The controller's instead in the front. God, they could do it. They could actually do it. It would be fine. Because
There you go.
It would just...
Maybe they're listening.
It's a smaller screen. It folds in half. The controller is contained on the bottom half of it. Right? So it's entirely a Switch, except on the instead of the sides, it's on the bottom and then flip. Like, that would be phenomenal with this like hardware. That would be an instant buy. Like, that's an absolute buy for me. You kidding me?
Yeah. I knew it
God,
would be.
please listen. All right. One last call out before we wrap up the show here. Because we have to keep putting these ideas, because our ideas seem to make it into the gaming ether.
Yeah.
We talked about, if not last episode, the one before that,
That's
the
right.
ability to use AI as a gaming coach to help you get through games. So be it with leveling, be it with complex systems that kind of like overlap, like your leveling guide, your attributes, whatever you want. ChatGPT or whatever like AI thing, using it as a coach, having a great time. And wouldn't you know it, that Nintendo, along with its launch, launched a new in-app feature called Zelda Notes that acts as an AI that you can talk to help you be guided through that Zelda world.
Yeah.
Like how we are just solutions flying off of this show, constant helping these companies. Like, my God, like did we nail it or what? We're ahead of the curve.
That's what I'm thinking. Like when they like obviously listen to the show, they're like, "Oh, who let this out? Who leaked to New Dad Gaming this feature that we were gonna tout as this totally new thing?" Trevor.
Oh Lord, I can't wait. So if we can just will a new SP into
There you go.
existence,
Yeah.
everything will be perfect. All right, everybody. That'll wrap it up there for the week. Thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Do you have your own thoughts on the new Switch 2 hardware launch? Is there a particular game you're looking forward to? Are you a wake up at midnight, get online and get purchasing pre-order type of person? We want to hear from all of you. Reach out to us at New Dad Gaming on all the socials, newdadgaming.com. If you like the show and would like to support us, easiest way is to hop over to any of the podcasting networks and give us a subscription, a rating, and a comment. Doing so really helps out the show, really boosts the signal to all the other gaming dads. You can find us on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. Everybody, once again, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. Might be switching to it up, and I will have a 14-year-old and an almost 12-year-old.
Let's see if I can hit that line again. Which switch will the dad pitch to pick up and get hitched?
There you go. It's perfect. It's like you practiced everything.
That's all I do all week. It's just like one poem a week is my job. Remember, everybody, just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.